Hi, welcome back to Dresdale. Another episode of our PlayStation 4 console build. I appreciate you viewing so far, and I'm hoping you're enjoying the journey with me here. So I had a little bit of free time today, and I did some detailing. I got a little carried away, so I apologize for not taking you along on some of this builds that I did, and I'll go ahead and show it to you. And then today, I think we're going to do buses. And probably what I'll do is do a whole bus tutorial, on how to run buses, install lines, all that stuff, and then I'll make that as a standalone bus tutorial as well. So you'll see that as well. So if you see this, then you don't probably need to watch that, and then vice versa. You can fast forward through. You'll see this part once you get to something familiar. Because if you watch the bus tutorial first, then you can kind of fast forward and see where there's any other content in this video that you want to watch. Okay, so I installed the solar updraft power station here. That's about it right here. Let's see, what else did we do? We did some detailing around the campus, installed some campus assets, we put some bridges in, did some rocks, and kind of smoothing out the terrain a little bit. I also installed this Sleepy Hollow type bridge. Well, I like this bridge. It's just a dirt road bridge, and it's got like a nice concrete base, and I just like this covered look bridge. It just always looks good. It's a nice like wooden bridge. Let's see, what else did we do here? Let me pause it real quick because I started doing the high density. I'll show you. Started high density in this area out here, so down our kind of like main entranceway into this neighborhood, and then I'm going to do high density along the bike path here, maybe up the, I don't know if we'll go this far, and I'll probably end up doing some high density in the front. But I'm also using the historic button, so if you click on these buildings here, some of them are historical buildings, some of them aren't. And what the historical buildings do is basically preserve the current look of the building. And the reason I'm doing that, like this one got a little big, but I think I like it, so we'll keep it. We'll keep that as a historical. And I'm kind of trying to achieve a certain height here. I don't want to really go much past like this size height. But while these buildings upgrade, so this is this area we districted as the self-sufficient buildings. And they look nice. They go good with our high school, and or the elementary school went. It's over there somewhere, or below me. And they get really, really tall. So if any of you played this game before, you probably know they're like really tall, like a style almost as tall as the IT cluster, or maybe just as tall. But I'm really not going for that look in this part of town. But I do want some height, and I do want some density in here. So you go ahead, and what you do is you just zone it, and then you just go ahead and make it a historical building and whatever kind of building look you want, and then it'll stay like that. I'm also kind of playing with building kind of like little mini complexes. And I've done this in other cities, and of course we'll do it in other areas here. But it's kind of like the idea, like, if you get like a 5 by 5 or 5 by 4 or 6 by 4 something like that, what you can do is you could do like maybe a 3 by 3 here and let it kind of set and start building, and then maybe do like one strip of like a 3 by 1 and a 3 by 1, and what you'll end up doing is you'll create these buildings that look kind of like they belong together, like almost like I said, like an apartment kind of complex, because the buildings will kind of look very similar, and you can adjust how the height that they grow, and it can look really nice. This one I kind of tried it. We'll see. This one's like a 2 by 2, or I think it is a 2 by 2. This one's a 2 by 2, and then this one's like I zone this one, I zone this one, and then I zone this as a 1 by 4 looks like. So we'll see. So maybe we'll have like 2 tall buildings and like 1 small one in there. I don't know how it's going to look like, but I wanted to give it a shot and see. I don't think I did that anywhere else yet. But like I said, it's just a way you can kind of play with the different tile sizes. And different skins and see, you know, what kind of creation you can make. So I did that there. Like I said, that's the plan in that area. Like I said, we added some buildings here, did some paths, and we're going to drop some more paths in. And down here, same kind of thing. This is kind of like our main entryway in. So these have some high density buildings, and I limited the height on some of these. I think we're going to limit the height on that. That looks pretty good. These are, I think, oh, that one's still got to grow. We'll let that one grow. That one looks okay. I think everything looks pretty good. You can kind of make them like look uniform, you know, a couple of the same in a row. You can do like a tall one in the middle, two small ones. So like we build them like this, and you can kind of mix and match and see what you like and see what, you know, like I said, what appeals to you. I think I want to keep this building here, and then we'll keep this building here. I think that looks okay. I just wish I could get a different skin than this, different building, but I think I tried blowing these up a couple of times. Yeah, if you don't like them, just blow them up, see if something else generates. And if they don't, then I guess you just gotta live with it. Oh yeah, so I went ahead and kind of finished our park. Is it close to being done? Let's take a look. We have enough. All right. Oh yeah, we're at 9,880 of 10,000, so it should pop here pretty soon. And then we have enough entertainment, so we're good. We'll put down the little bouncy thing. Maybe we'll throw it up in here somewhere. We'll run our road here, a path. Then maybe we'll snap it there. So I just reorganized things just a little bit, brought in a couple more features, and obviously you see this kind of monstrosity. Maybe I got a little carried away with it. I don't know. Tell me what you think. I mean, would you put something like this in the background of your city, or do you think this is too much? I like doing the rocks, and sometimes you just, like I say, get a little carried away. I tend to put something big in the middle, and then you have you can use different, you know, rock features to kind of give you these slopes, and then throw the boulders, kind of make it look like it's eroding and launching boulders down as it kind of weathers away. Put a little cave here, or try to get a little path in there, but it's tough because, at least on PlayStation, I've seen on PC that you can kind of get a little bit closer, but on PlayStation, like right in here, even though there's like nothing here, it's because there's like, this is like the width of these rocks, you know, when you plan it, and they won't let you build like right up against it. But you know, it is what it is. Try to do the best you can. Then I put some in these redwoods back here just to kind of give it this cool, because we haven't put any of these trees in anywhere in our city, you know, this town yet. And I mean, obviously, don't want to put like big redwood trees. Maybe you would, you know, sticking up in the middle here. But since we're kind of in the back with this big, you know, rock feature, I thought it'd be cool to have some height, you know. And then maybe I'll go ahead and fill in some more, you know, stuff underneath. And it's a shame we have this border here, because I can't kind of blend it back out. Who knows if we end up buying the style or not, then maybe I'll come back and do it. Like I kind of blended it out here, you know, where you got like a couple of the smaller size ones. And with the trees, you know, you can just plant trees and they change sizes as you go. So you get different sizes and shapes and stuff. And if you're like looking for a certain one, like I wanted the little one, and it was like the third one in these, you can just delete, you know, these two and keep that one. Whatever. So you can kind of control like the height. So maybe like I did here, you know, you go with the tall ones closest to the rocks, and you kind of feather it out so it's like smaller trees as you go. And I create this nice little path, almost like hit it here, so like people can, you know, come in and walk through here. All right, they're using it. Kind of get lost in the trees, these big tall redwood trees. So, you know, it's just something nice. I'll do some more detailing. I think I want to do something down here with the waterfall, put some rocks and stuff down here as well. Maybe border this a little bit more with some rocks and fill in some of the trees in here with some like a colorful like bush like plants, and we'll see. Especially once we level this up to level 3, then I might get even some more assets to put down. So our campus is at level, I don't want to blow it up, I want to look at it. Is at level 2. The only thing holding us back really is our population. I think, I know we're not quite enough attractiveness too, so I got to put down, so we'll get one more academic works, which we can't buy because I already bought it. And then I guess I can put one more asset down later. And then we should, and then we're still behind on our students, which, you know, we're starting to phase in some of this high density stuff, so that'll bring in more people. So that should fill. We should probably at least get to level 3. I don't know if we'll get to level 4 until we open up a new tile and start building. So I usually don't build the campus like this early in the game. I usually wait till like maybe the 4th or 5th tile, but I usually start off with like just a regular old university. Make this like I said, maybe like once the 3rd or 4th tile is open, because then you have like maybe a couple thousand students. You might be hitting like 2,000 or 3,000, because you're starting to throw on down some more higher density, and plus these high density areas I just threw down, they haven't gotten through the education system yet. They're probably still in elementary school. Yeah, so that's okay. It'll grow with us. And that's about it as far as what I did. So buses. I think what we're going to do, well, let's go over the different assets of buses, then we'll go ahead. So I guess I'll start like this. Welcome to the bus tutorial. In case I splice this in something else. And welcome to the bus tutorial. Today we're going to go ahead over buses. We're going to add buses to our city for the first time. And we're going to talk all about buses. So, some of the assets that you get. So if you got the base game, you get this one, I think, right? The regular bus depot, 720. This one is from the green DLC. These are the biofuel ones. And they're a little bit quieter than this one. So, I mean, but they hold the same capacity. I usually put this one down just because of that reason. Here we have the bus station. I never use it or have really ever found a use for it, but I can see like how you would use it. So the way this thing works is you basically stick it somewhere. I imagine somewhere centrally in your like a big district, maybe with some high density, and say you had like your high density, residential over here, high density commercial over here. So maybe you would stick it like just inside the commercial area, and then you would run bus routes. So this thing can hold, I think, 12 bus routes, and you would run like little small routes that would collect people in your different areas. So maybe you would run like 4 or 5 to your residential areas, and then another 4 or 5 to your commercial areas. Kind of like it's basically a hub and spoke type of transportation system. Like I said, I've never really used it because I usually use something like this, the multi-platform station, which we don't have yet, but something like this one. Let's see, what else we got? Oh, you got inner city buses. This one comes with, I think, Sunset Harbor. Yeah, Sunset Harbor DLC. That basically allows you to, it's just like kind of like the outside train in the ferry, the airport. It's just another way to bring in people from other cities into your city. So it's inner city. Hence the name, inner city bus station. And there's like an inner city, I think, inner city, and which is probably what we're on here, the inner city bus and bus hub. So you can basically the terminal and the inner city all in one. So that's not a bad deal. I don't think it's that expensive comparatively with the combined cost of the other two. Sorry. Let's see what else we got in here. And that's that inner city. And then you can get some roads. Some of these are from After Dark, which I think was free with the base vanilla game. So you probably have that. So you can make designated roads have designated bus lanes. So no big deal there. And then of course once you put that down, you can open up your tool and do some routing. And that's about all the assets I can think of. So the advantages of buses. They're not that expensive. I mean, once you put down a depot, you're good for your whole city. One depot should be able to supply your whole entire city with buses. I thought I read somewhere it's like 700 bus capacity max or something, so you probably never have that many. Someone can give me the actual number or post a link in the comments like to whoever wrote the article that kind of explained the max capacity. But kind of the short answer is once you put one down, you're good. And you can move it. So if this was like one of our tiles on the very corner of our city, we can move it towards like the center, and that way if you need to dispatch buses, it can kind of easily go throughout the whole entire city. But we're just going to put it here now because of course this is the only 2 tiles we got. Let's see, so we'll put it like right here, right in the middle. Oh, so the advantages of them. Yeah, they're not that expensive. Also, you don't have to upgrade any roads or anything for them. They just drive on regular roads. So, you know, things like the trolley, trams, you know, metro, all that stuff. Pretty much all your other, I think, transportation requires, other than flying things, require you to like build a special track. You know, the flying things, you make the path, but that doesn't cost anything. Ferries, they have the water. This is very similar to flying, but like your metro, train, monorail, tram, trolley, you need to do like some kind of either a separate track or a you know, a road, a special road. So you have to like basically stick some kind of infrastructure in your city, so it gets a little, you know, costly. Whereas the bus, you just put the route and they just start driving on the roads, and this is no big deal. So I have some ideas here on how I want to lay this bus route out. I was looking at it earlier, and I think I'm going to run a route down here. So there's like a couple, how do I say this? There's two good types of routes, or efficient routes, that you can create. One is like a collapsing route. So it's kind of like, okay, I'm going to run down this street here on this side, pick people up, blah, blah, blah. Then I'm going to come, this is the route we're going to build. Then I'm going to loop around here. Then I'm going to collapse right back on the route. And then I'm going to provide, you know, go on the other side of the road. Then I'm going to hit this street, or maybe this street here, collapse back again. So it's one route, one bus route that also serves in both directions, because the route falls back on itself. So that's a pretty good way to design your route. The other way is like a circle. So that's what we're going to do here. Kind of like a clockwise, counterclockwise route. So we'll do something like I think our bike lane goes down this way. So maybe we'll do something where we pick people up here. We come down, maybe, because we're going to put some high density along here too. So this route will grow as we zone in terms of customer count. Yeah, maybe we'll come up here, come up here or here, maybe drop somebody off at the school, you know, pick up the school, go out here in the outskirts to like here, then kind of wind back. So that we'll have one route that does like a clockwise circle, and the other one that does a counterclockwise circle. And those are the kind of, like I said, those are the two routes that are probably like the more efficient way you want to do it. You don't want to run like one route. You wouldn't want to run like one route like zigzagging through here. And the reason you don't want to do that is because, you know, people, we could just draw one here. And people at the stop, if they want to go one direction, they don't want to have to go through the whole entire route to get to that one stop. So I'm on left-hand road, so I think this is the right side, the correct side I want to be on. If I want to go this way, right? Yeah. So we'll do a route that goes here. Here's our gate, so we'll stop at the gate. So we can bring people here if they want to go to the park, and then they shoot over into here from here. And they probably won't, but that's okay. And then we're gonna stop like at the school here. And then I'm gonna put a path here so they can get up to the skate park and the high school. And then we'll do something like here. And we'll do like a path. We'll do a path here to connect to this, so that way they can get into the school. And then we'll go along and do like a, you know, stop here. It doesn't matter. I guess here is probably good, because that way they can get to this path. And then we'll come back on top of ourselves, stop here, and go here. It's a little close, but that's okay. Here, and then we'll keep going. We'll stop at the little playground, school, and we'll go stop at the park, like right near the intersection, which isn't necessarily a good thing. We'll talk about that in a second. And we're gonna stop here, and I think that's our last stop. So why don't you want to do like one big huge circle, and that's it? Because, you know, if I'm at the high school and I want to go to the park over there, and the only stop is this stop in this direction, then I have to drive all the way down through the freaking college and all the way come back, right? So, you know, when you're putting your routes down, you always kind of want to look at, like, okay, if I'm at this stop, so if I'm at the elementary school, can I get to the high school? Yep, I can cross the street, or I can just take the one that's right here and go. Can I get to the next stop, the park? Yep, I cross the street, go to this one and go. And then you can kind of look at each one of your stops and kind of ask yourself those questions. And if you answer yes, you're good. If you answer no, you got to figure out why you answered. What answers no, right? So that's a good route. I should do pretty well. I'll probably do too well, and probably overload our buses. So that's the first one, and then we'll do the second one here, and then we'll talk about how to. So the route tool is easy. You just click on where you can kind of feel it snaps. That's just a good spot. Now is this way or no? It's this way. Okay. We'll do something like maybe here. That's not too close, not too far. And that way we have the intersection in the crosswalks. It can be difficult. Like sometimes that's not a good thing because then the bus can block traffic. So if you find that, then you might just have to move the stop down one, like here. But the good thing about here is then like people who are walking, they just walk right across the street. The crosswalks. So it's kind of like, maybe this works, maybe it doesn't. We'll reevaluate that. And you should be looking at your routes probably like once every couple hours or so, depending on what you're doing. You're expanding your city because as you add people and stuff, then your whole traffic scenario changes. So I think the bike path goes through here, right? I don't know if I can see it in the gray here. And whatever, we'll just go to like here. Yeah, that's good. And then we'll go to like, maybe we'll go through here. I think we'll sneak through here. We need to be on this side. There. They're happy. I'm happy. We'll go here. And maybe somewhere like here. And back. That's probably okay. I will see. You can always move them. And the other direction. And we'll talk about how to move lines and add stops and all that stuff. And then we'll talk about when to use buses, when not to use buses, what to look for, and the things that are going to happen when you create bus lines. Alright, there you go. Alright, yeah, see, everyone's happy. So this will level up your buildings because it's a service. Higher level buildings give you more money. So that's always good. Alright, to add a stop, you hover over the line. Okay, so I didn't even, when I first played this game, this was very confusing. I don't know why. It seems very simple to me now, but it was just so confusing that I almost didn't use buses. So you hover over the line, you get this circle. You see that circle? And it turns the color of the line, so this is it, and it's going to be red here, right? So if you go hover on the line and you hit X, it'll place like a stop kind of closest to where you hit the X button. If you don't like it, don't hit square here. It'll delete the line. It'll ask you if you want to delete the line, but if you're like me and you're a spaz and you hit the buttons a lot, you'll delete your line. So you get this circle, and then you kind of nudge it like that, and then you get the big circle over to stop, hit square, and now the stop's going. Okay, so that's how you add and remove stops. To drag a stop, you just do the same thing. You get the circle again. Make sure the game is not saving because it's all kind of like palsy and everything, and that'll screw you up. So we're good, and then click and hold X, and then just move, and then it'll move with you. And then you can like set it here, and now it's there. See, I got the circle again around it. Grab it, just move it back. I said to delete the line, you hit square. That's one way to delete it. The other way is you got this transport menu. Go in triangle, hit details. You can go into like the line. This will like highlight which line it is. So we're on this one. You can adjust your buses here. You can change the bus type. School bus, biofuel. If you don't have the biofuel, like the Green Cities DLC, then you probably don't have that. You might have the bus, and you might have a school bus. Then you can adjust how many buses you have here. Less and more. And this will delete your route. You can name it. You can change the color. Like sometimes for like office space and stuff, I'll just go ahead and throw like a clockwise and counterclockwise loop around the area. I'll just dial this all the way down to 1 because no one drives to or leaves from offices for whatever reason. There's like no traffic. And then I'll rename it LV1, LV2, LV3, and I'll make it like green like money, because that's all they're doing is trying to increase the land value by providing the service to level up the buildings. And then I'll know that I don't really need to check them or look at them, or if I look at them and they got like 5 customers on there, then to not delete the route, because it's not serving the purpose of transporting people, it's serving the purpose of raising building levels. So you can do something like that too, and of course you can change the color here. This I'm not 100% sure about. Yeah, and maybe someone who really understands this could help. To me, the way it looks like it works is and this is what I kind of found in the last handful of CDs, is if you click nighttime, then this route is only active at night with 4 buses, and then during the day it actually sends the buses back to the depot. So then you don't have any bus route at all. And then if you click this one and then you have 4 buses, then they'll be running at daytime, but there won't be any buses at night. And then here they'll run both day and night. I think that's how it works. I wish how it worked was you just got day and night and not maybe the both, and then you could set this to like 4 for during the day because it's busier during the day. Then you click on this, then you can set it to 2 and then 2 at night, and then maybe 2 would go home during the nighttime and come back during the 2 back during the day. But I don't think that's how it works. It sends all the buses away, and then you just don't have it. So and someone who's been using this tool maybe more than me, because I usually play most of the time without the nighttime anyway, so I'm just not that familiar with it. Last 2 cities I played with night on, and I tried to play with it, and I saw buses driving back to the depot, and I was like, I don't know, whatever, I'll just leave. I'll just adjust my buses, my transportation during the day, and whatever happens at night, I just don't care. If they're trying to get to the nightclub and they're piling up at the bus stop, that's their problem. They can drive. I'll just make sure it looks good during the day. But yeah, so like I said, not sure exactly how that works. I guess if you wanted both a daytime and a nighttime, you could draw a route, draw 2 routes, one on top of another, and then have a different, have a daytime and a nighttime count. Have one on day and one at night. That's probably how you would have to do it. And if you want to do it that way, what you would do here is you would the triangle here, and that route goes away, and then draw your new line on top of it. And you can even use the counterclockwise one as like your reference to like where you put your stops. Then that one would be there, your new, say, nighttime one, and you could turn this one off and then draw your nighttime one counterclockwise, and then adjust the buses. And then maybe you'd have to label them in here, like, well, it would say night and day, and I think you can sort. So I don't know if it sorts by that, but you can turn the lines on and off. It's somewhat helpful if you have like a lot of stuff kind of crisscrossing, or if you're putting you have a couple routes and some of them pile up on the same stop. Then you can kind of, and you're having trouble, like, maybe I had a blue one under here, but I can't get, like, it doesn't like getting to it because I want to move the blue line, or maybe delete it, the stop, and I can't do it. Then I would go in here, turn off the green one, then do whatever I had to do with the blue one, turn back on. All right, what else? So let's go ahead and put another route in. I want to do something like here. I think I want to come from here. Oh, there we go. And then drive to here. And if he's going to come through the roundabout, I want him to come this way, because I think this is... No, I want him to come this way. So maybe I'll put this here, or here. Because that way he makes... And I'm on the left-hand driving, right? So then he makes a left-hand turn, which would be a right-hand turn. For most of the time, for most of us, and that way it's easy on traffic. And then maybe he makes a right-hand turn here, and comes out, comes back here. You know what I'm saying? Then I want a route here that collapses on itself. So let's do it like this. I'll go to this gate. I'm gonna bring it down here. Maybe we'll go to like maybe like here. That'd be nice, because that'll keep them off the busy road intersection there. And maybe we'll go here. Then we'll go here. Then we'll turn around on this side of the road. Go here. Go here. Come back. Yeah, do that. See how that looks. I mean, maybe we could add a stop in here. I mean, distance on stops, like 2-3 blocks. I mean, it seems to walk pretty far. It's a good, like I said, the good thing about, so another good thing about buses is you can use them to experiment. You know, you don't really know how to, you know, how the transport's going to work. Just throw a bus route in there, and then if all of a sudden, like, if someone's on there, well, you know, try and move the stops around a little bit and see if they start, you know, space them out more or make them closer, and see how that affects your line. I mean, they're very flexible that way. If you go and you create a route like this, and then all of a sudden you look and there's like 300 people at a stop, then you go, oh geez, what am I going to do there? You know, of course you can increase the buses, but we're going to go over that in just a second. Or, you know, you might say, well, maybe I should replace this with tram if you have access to tram, or maybe I do metro, or, you know, monorail, or some other larger form of transportation because your bus line is just too busy. So use them to like this experiment and see, you know, like I said, how people are going to move to your city. All right, so how do you know when to upgrade to the next level? I usually go by, if I need like 9, we'll say maybe between 8 and like 12 buses on a route, then it's time to move on to the next level of transportation. With the caveat that it depends on the route. Like this is a pretty long route. So normally buses are really good for like short distance stuff, and maybe a handful of stops, half a dozen stops. And normally I might do like a loop in here and like a loop in here, but I thought I did give this a nice shot because I like kind of like how this road is going. I like the stops on this. I figured this would be a nice way to do this. So like a route like this could have maybe 8 to 10 buses, and that would be okay because they're going to spread out pretty good. But you just got to realize, the more buses you add to your route, the more traffic you create, because the buses are cars, right? And they're going to block intersections, they're going to pull off the road and do all kinds of stuff, get out in traffic, make, you know, left turns and everything like that. So once you kind of, like I said, hit that like 8 to 10 buses, it might be time to switch to like tram, because, you know, a bus holds 30 people, tram holds 90. So, you know, 3 trams is the same as 9 buses. So now you take 6 vehicles off the road and clear out some traffic. So now you have 6 less vehicles going through your busy intersection, making stops, doing all, you know, all kinds of stuff. So it's just something to kind of think about. Like I said, it can be, you know, a little tricky, and it might take a little bit of experience to kind of find those areas. But like I said, that 8 to 12-ish, it's probably time to move on. I've seen Biffa plays into the YouTube channel. He does some traffic videos, and he'll show like the transportation networks, and people have like 30 buses on their bus line. Like maybe they do that to like screw the city up, you know, and make it like a traffic jam nightmare, because that's what it does. Because you just have so many freaking buses. Like if you're, and like another good sign, or even, and this goes for all transportation. A good sign to know that you are at capacity on your route is if you see like a bus here is like picking people up, and the next bus is like right here, or he stopped right behind them. If you stop behind them, then there's nothing you can do. Okay, you can't put more buses on the route, because there's just going to be another bus stop behind that, another bus stop behind that. So you're not doing any good. You've exceeded actually the capacity of the line. You want like this bus to, like, you know, at most this bus is leaving, and maybe this bus is like almost entering the stop, and that's like the limit, because like, everything's still running smooth, and they're not queuing, backing up, causing problems, right? So that's a very, like I said, that's a telltale sign that you got too much. Your line's overloaded, and that goes for trains, goes for monorails, metros, trams, all that stuff. You start seeing vehicles waiting on other vehicles, then you're messing up, and you need to upgrade the transportation. And if it's a train, then you need to find like another way. Like say we had a big train here, and he was serving this whole entire freaking 2 tiles. We had all the transit bringing it to train, and that train's like all blocked up, and the train, there's trains waiting to get on the platform as the other trains are trying to leave. Well, then you got to go ahead and like say, okay, I'm going to split this city like in half, and the train station here is going to serve this, and then maybe a monorail or another train station over here is going to serve this, because like one train station right in the middle isn't cutting it. I hope that makes sense, and you probably run into that sometimes. But like I said, you can get the same thing with the metro. They'll be waiting to get in and out. And I'm going to show you, if you don't know how to, I don't know who that is. Co-cleaner bonnet. It's probably some spam. One of the sexy pictures trying to get my social security number. And I'll go over this in detail when we do like the bigger transportation, but there's a way to determine, there's a way to designate, which platform your train goes to. I did not know that for like half the cities I built. And then one time I found that out, just kind of like I was trying to goof around and figure it out, because sometimes I could get it work, sometimes I couldn't. And I was building these multi-train platforms, like where you can put 12 freaking lines on there, but like I couldn't figure out how to get use both sides of the platforms, for the one track. And I was like, man, I want to use this thing, but it's like I can't get it to work. Like, and I don't like watching YouTube videos, and it's all people on PC, and they got a mouse, and they can click right on the track. And it's like, okay, well, I have a controller. Is it just because? And I'm thinking, well, maybe PS4 you just can't do it. And then I found out there's a way to do it, and then opened up the whole entire world. I started crying. I was like so excited and happy. I told my wife, "Oh my God, I just changed my game. My world has been changed, and I've come to the light." And ever since then, trains, monorails, and metro has been super easy, super smooth. Like I said, the multi-platform stations are killer. Move tons of people, 5, 6, 10,000 people a week. They do real well. All right, so that's when you know when to upgrade your line. That was a long story, but sorry about that. But yeah, so like I said, when they start queuing, or when you can start getting like, where the next level of transit is like 2 or 3 vehicles versus how many vehicles you have on. Like I said, so like 3 trams versus 9 buses. Maybe it's time to move on to tram. Where it might take 2 metro, or like 2, because like two monorail lines, right? It's 180 and 180. That's 4 trams, right? So maybe once you get to like 10 trams, it's like time to like add a monorail line or a train station, because it's going to take like 3 monorails to 3 monorails, and then of course now you've upgraded to transportation that's got its own tracks, and you don't have to worry about traffic at all. So it takes all the traffic off. So I hope that helps. I'm gonna make a bet, and you guys owe me, I don't know, let's go get me a pizza. You can send me a pizza if I'm right here. So, okay, a couple things about when I turn this thing on, what's going to happen. First thing's going to happen is a bunch of little buses going to come out the station, clog out my roundabout, and it probably causes a little bit of a traffic nightmare, a little bit of heartburn, because I just put down all these routes, the game's paused, and it's just going to spit out who knows how many buses, probably 20, we'll say. Yeah, probably 20. And then what's going to happen at that point? So don't freak out if there's like several hundred people at a bus stop when you first put a line, because especially if the line's far away from your depot, because the Sims know you built a line, so they'll start going there like right now. As soon as I unpause this, people will start sitting here and go, "Oh man, there's a bus stop here. That's awesome." I mean, even have a person maybe right there. He's already having unpaused it, and he's like, "Oh man, I can't wait to get on this bus. Like it's not even real yet, but I'm going to get on it." All right, so people are going to start piling up at the bus stops because the game knows you put them there, but the buses ain't there because they got to come out of here and drive through the route. So don't like freak out. Like I said, if you get several hundred people at the bus stop, it's something you got to like think about and kind of like monitor, but it's not the end of the world. Also, when you first start and release all those buses on the line, what's going to happen is they're going to come to like the first stop, probably the first stop you placed, which I think was the high school here. I think it was this one. So all the buses will go here. This is like stop 1, or the beginning of the route, which I probably technically should have made maybe like here, so like they just came here. So all the buses are going to go past this stop, and then it's going to go here. This is the starting point. And if it spits out 5 buses are going to show up right here, and then 4 buses are going to sit here with their thumbs tweedling around while bus number 1 goes maybe to this stop, and then once he leaves stop 1 and stop 2, this guy will leave stop 1, and so forth and so on, until in the game we'll just we'll hold the buses until the buses start spreading out, because it doesn't want to have 5 buses like in a Congo line going down here. It doesn't do you any good, and then there's no buses anywhere else, and they're all stopping at the same stop together, right? So the game's gonna try and spread them out. It takes some time to do that, so your bus line is going to be all screwed up and inefficient, and people are going to pile up because the buses are just, and you're like, why didn't this bus go? I got 400 people to stop down here, come on. And it's because the game's trying to make it wait, because it wants to make sure there's buses going the other way too. So that's something you're going to have to, like I said, just realize that's a mechanism in the game. All right. The third thing is keep an eye on. Let's see. The second. So the first one was people keep showing up. Buses are going to come. Clear it out. Okay. So in that case, just monitor it. What you want to look for is the numbers, how the numbers are increasing. If you click on the line and you look at the numbers and they're flashing fast, then you're kind of SOL. Well, I don't want to say SOL, but you're kind of this was an awesome idea, because people want to use your transit system. You just picked the wrong transit type, because if you have people showing up, like I said, at the 10s and 20s and 30s and 40s at a time, then the buses ain't going to keep up. This is not going to happen. So you got to go, oh, well, this was a great idea. This is a great route, but I just got to switch tram, metro, whatever. And then that'll handle the capacity. If it's going up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, coming in a couple 1, 2, 3, 4, pausing for a little bit, 5, 6, 7, 8, you probably, you might be okay. The buses might be able to keep up. So just, look at the numbers and how are they. It's not necessarily the fact that you have 200 people, 300 people, 1,000 people at your bus stop when you first lay the line. It's the rate of change. How fast are they coming? Okay. If they're not coming that fast, what's going to happen is your buses will chip away at it, and eventually it'll settle out. It's just, like I said, it's a product of the fact that it's holding the buses to spread them out, and also the fact that people show up well in advance before your buses are ready to take them. Okay. So don't freak out. It was one other point I wanted to bring across, but I lost it. I wanted to make the bet. My bet is that I'll need twice as many buses on this line as this line, so I'll probably need 4 or 5 here and 2 here. Why do I say that? This one's bringing people to the gate, and the gate's going to the commercial. People want to go to commercial. That's the top thing you need to understand. If there's anything about traffic that you need to understand, is trucks need to go to commercial, and that's what cargo trains are for. And which we weren't not even there yet. I'm building a cargo train network. But people want to go to commercial because they want to party, they want to buy stuff. We're a consumer society, and we want to just buy and spend and rack up our credit card bills, right? So that's what they want to do. But they go here. I don't know where they go afterwards, because they don't come back. You'll find that this one will do half as this, so half of them die. Maybe half of them take the car back and drive back. Half of them go. I don't know where they go, because people do die, and they stay shop until they drop, literally. So maybe they die. I don't know, but we'll test it, and we'll see in real life, real time, right now. What actually happens, and then you'll see this phenomenon. It's always kind of irked me that this bus will be full and transporting 200 people, we'll say 100 people, and this bus line will be transporting 40, and you're like, well, where did the other 60 people go? They went here. Don't they come back? No, they don't. They go into the Phantom Zone with General Zod and his crew and party in the Phantom Zone, I guess. And then it's a one-way trip. So that's there was some other thing I wanted to mention. But maybe it'll come up to me. I'm gonna let it run for now. And we'll see how we do. They go, oh, let's watch them come out. That's how I wanted it to do it. Here they all go. I'm trying to get confused. We're on left-hand track. Whoa. Some of them went that way. And like I said, probably have people at our stops. That's sending out 9. That's a lot of buses. That's sending out 5. That's 5. And the game will like base like the distance and a number of stops on and try and calculate how many buses you need. I think back in the day, you couldn't adjust your bus routes like this, but now you can. So that's good. That's one good upgrade they made. Oh, and we gotta give them some water. You're thirsty, my friend. What commercial is that? I don't get paid by them. Stay thirsty, my friend. I forget which one it is. Oh yeah, level 5 park. All right, we're gonna go change that in a second. So much to do. Always so much to do. Let's do this. Let's do the 440 trick. Let's go like that, and then we'll do this. And people are upgraded. Why? Because we put buses in. So all the upgrades, all the people moving in. Yay! We got buses, man. Buses are so much better than biking. He was making us bike across town. I was buying new tires every week. I think I put it in a farming area. I don't know if I showed you that or not, but yeah. Let's see. What else we need to do? How's our garbage doing? We're doing pretty good because we're pretty much like I think our garbage processing is close to our production. Actually, we're much better garbage processing capacity. So we're actually doing really good. So this really shouldn't fill that much. Just take a really long time to fill. That's why I've got 2 trucks out. Oh, I thought that was one of our parks. Our parks can catch on fire. I probably mentioned that. Yeah, we opened up the fire helicopter. Okay, so that's buses. I said they're very good for like light density, you know, commercial or residential, or like shorter routes and like the higher density stuff. But you don't want to run like that huge. Like if it was like all high density residential, that bus line would get crushed. You wouldn't be able to do it. Like it would not survive on its own. You'd have to put out like 20 buses, and they would all be at their stops waiting. Those people. I kind of like this color. I really want to keep it. I think it's my wife's favorite color. So we got 141 people at this stop. I don't know if it's going down or going up. It's a popular stop. But see, we have buses that are like right up each other's tails here. So it's still like taking time to spread out. Like these buses are still, I think, figuring it out. So it might take a little bit of time. Oh, we got this. Let's go ahead and we're going to charge these folks a little bit more money. Because I like to be rolling in the dough here. 25 is my standard fee. My standard finder's fee. We're going to advertise, sure. Do some night tours. I don't know if it's going to work because we're on day only, but whatever. Does it still charge me? Probably. We're going to celebrate. I like fireworks. I have to keep my eye out and see if we see fireworks. If we don't, then maybe we'll turn it off. What else? Red. Red. These buildings got out of hand while we were jibber jabbering about buses. They look okay. I'm gonna go ahead and take a look at them. I'm just letting them run for a few minutes just to see kind of how you know, things settled out. Let the game kind of figure out where everything is. People walking. Oh yeah, I wanted to put a path here. Ooh, that was spinny, really spinny. Oh, it's gyro. Oh, there we go. All right, so we got almost out of time because my alarm went off, and you know, PlayStation gives you an hour. So we'll put that there, and then we'll do another little path here. We'll turn this off in case you guys can hear it. Then we'll come back. Well, maybe we'll wrap up any bus, topics, or we'll wrap up, kind of like looking at them, seeing if we need more or less, all that stuff, how to adjust them, and kind of like maybe some philosophy on, how many buses should you have on your route? What are you kind of looking for? And some pitfalls on the PlayStation that you should be aware of, like stops not appearing. And I'll explain that after you know what? I'll stop it here, and then I'll come back in. I'll put this path in, re-record, and we'll get rolling again. So thank you very much for coming, attending City Skylines bus lecture 101. I hope it was informative. I hope we went through to the basics on how to lay out your routes, the types of routes that you kind of want to look for. Also, I probably didn't mention, but you want to make your stops like at kind of things people want to go to, like the schools and parks and the little carousel thing we got going on there in the college. Like, you don't just want to like randomly stop them if you can. I mean, if there's nothing there, then sure, like just pick a decent spot that you think people can get to. But it helps when you have places to go. We didn't talk about how buses work with other transportation, so hopefully I'll hold that thought, and then when we come back, we'll talk about that. It was a pleasure. I hope to see you next time.